Hey there, listeners. Welcome to the Boardroom Visionaries podcast. I'm your host, Alex Morgan, and I'm thrilled to kick off today's episode with a thought-provoking topic: stakeholder capitalism beyond shareholder value. We're diving deep into the world of business philosophy and the evolving trends that are challenging the traditional notion of maximizing shareholder value. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's explore how businesses are broadening their focus to include the interests of all stakeholders. So, what exactly is this whole stakeholder capitalism thing, and why is it creating such a buzz? Well, it's a concept that basically says companies should focus on the interests of all their stakeholders, not just their shareholders. That means considering the impact on employees, customers, the environment, and the community, instead of just prioritizing the financial gains for shareholders. In a nutshell, it's about taking a broader view of success and accountability. It's about recognizing that a company's impact goes beyond making money for shareholders and acknowledging the responsibility to make a positive contribution to society at large. Proponents of stakeholder capitalism argue that by considering the needs of all stakeholders, companies can create more sustainable and inclusive economic growth. It's about building trust and relationships with all the people and groups who are affected by a company's activities. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's gaining traction as a guiding principle for businesses around the world. So, while the traditional focus has been on maximizing shareholder value, stakeholder capitalism is pushing for a more balanced and socially responsible approach. It's all about finding that sweet spot where companies can create value for everyone involved, not just the folks holding the shares. So, why the sudden shift from prioritizing shareholders to considering the needs of various stakeholders? Well, for starters, the traditional focus on maximizing shareholder value has come under scrutiny in recent years. Critics argue that this approach often results in short-term decision-making that can harm other stakeholders, such as employees, customers, and the wider community. Many believe that a more holistic approach, taking into account the interests of all stakeholders, is not only the morally right thing to do, but also essential for long-term business success. Furthermore, as companies increasingly recognize the interconnectedness of their operations with society and the environment, they are realizing the importance of managing their impact more responsibly. This includes addressing environmental sustainability, promoting diversity and inclusion, and ensuring fair treatment of workers throughout the supply chain. In essence, the shift from shareholders to stakeholders reflects a broader awareness of the role that businesses play in shaping a more sustainable and equitable world. It's important to note that this transition doesn't mean disregarding shareholder interests altogether. Rather, it involves expanding the focus to consider the needs and concerns of all stakeholders, thereby creating a more balanced and sustainable approach to corporate governance. This shift is not just a trend. It's a fundamental reimagining of the role and purpose of business in society. And it's a shift that many believe will lead to better long-term outcomes for companies, shareholders, and society as a whole. When it comes to measuring success in business, it's not just about the profits anymore. Many companies are now setting ESG, environmental, social, and governance goals to track their impact beyond just the bottom line. These goals take into account how a company is contributing to environmental sustainability, how it's impacting society in a positive way, and how it's being governed ethically and responsibly. By setting and achieving ESG goals, companies are aiming to create long-term value not only for their shareholders, but for all their stakeholders. This means considering the interests of employees, customers, suppliers, and the communities in which they operate, in addition to the traditional focus on maximizing shareholder value. The shift towards ESG goals reflects a broader recognition that businesses have a responsibility to make a positive impact on the world, and that success should be measured in more holistic terms than just financial performance. It's a way for companies to demonstrate their commitment to sustainability, ethical behavior, and contributing positively to society as a whole. When businesses prioritize ESG goals and transparently report on their progress, they can build trust with their stakeholders, attract socially conscious investors, and differentiate themselves in the market. Ultimately, it's about understanding that profit is just one piece of the puzzle, and that true success in business involves making a positive impact on the world in a variety of ways. Absolutely. Diversity initiatives are a crucial component of stakeholder capitalism. By prioritizing diversity in the workplace, companies can foster a more inclusive and dynamic environment. Not only does diversity reflect the reality of our society, but it also brings different perspectives, ideas, and talents to the table. This can lead to more innovation, better decision-making, and increased creativity within the organization. Additionally, diversity initiatives show a genuine commitment to equity and justice, which can improve the company's reputation and brand perception. It's not just a box to tick. It's about genuinely valuing and leveraging the diversity of people and ideas within the organization. And when companies prioritize diversity, they are also contributing to a more equitable and prosperous society as a whole. In today's rapidly changing world, it's becoming increasingly important for businesses to think beyond just turning a profit. Sure, making money is crucial, but more and more companies are realizing that they have a responsibility to the communities they operate in and to the world at large. We're witnessing a shift towards what's known as stakeholder capitalism, where businesses are prioritizing the impact they have on all their stakeholders, including employees, suppliers, customers, and the broader community, alongside the traditional focus on shareholder value. This approach means that companies are not only looking to generate profits, but also to create positive social and environmental impacts. They're taking action to address issues like climate change, social inequality, and ethical business practices. And it's not just about philanthropy or corporate social responsibility. It's about integrating these values into the core of their operations. Businesses are recognizing that they can be a force for good in the world, and that by building a strong, sustainable business, they can also contribute to building a better world for everyone. So what does this mean for you as a consumer or employee? It means you have the power to support businesses that are committed to making a positive impact. You can choose to buy from or work for companies that align with your values and contribute to the greater good. And for businesses, it means understanding that your success is interconnected with the well-being of your community. By focusing on creating shared value and collaborating with stakeholders to address societal challenges, you can not only make a positive difference, but also build a more resilient and successful business in the long run. This shift towards stakeholder capitalism represents a fundamental change in how businesses view their role in society. It's about recognizing that success is about more than just the bottom line. It's about how you contribute to the world around you. Let's take a look at some real-world examples of companies that are successfully balancing profit and purpose through stakeholder capitalism. First up, we have Patagonia, the outdoor apparel company. Patagonia has made environmental and social responsibility a core part of their business. They've been vocal advocates for environmental protection and have even donated a portion of their sales to grassroots environmental organizations. By integrating sustainability into their supply chain and operations, they've shown that it's possible to do well financially while doing good for the planet. Another example is Unilever, the consumer goods giant. Unilever has been a leader in promoting sustainable business practices and social initiatives. They've set ambitious targets to reduce their environmental footprint and have incorporated sustainability into their brands, such as their commitment to source all of their agricultural raw materials sustainably by 2020. Their sustainable living brands, which include products like Dove and Ben & Jerry's, have been a driving force behind their commitment to making a positive impact on society and the environment. And let's not forget about Microsoft, which has been pushing the boundaries of corporate social responsibility. Under the leadership of Satya Nadella, Microsoft has embraced a mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. They've been investing heavily in sustainability, including being carbon negative by 2030, and empowering their employees to give back to their communities through programs like the Microsoft Philanthropies. These companies are just a few examples of how stakeholder capitalism is being put into action. They demonstrate that it's possible to prioritize social and environmental impact alongside financial success, and that doing so can lead to long-term sustainable growth. The concept of stakeholder capitalism sure sounds great, right? I mean, who wouldn't want a corporate world that considers the interests of all stakeholders, not just the shareholders? But let's be real for a moment. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. One of the biggest challenges in embracing stakeholder capitalism is the potential clash of interests among different stakeholders. I mean, you've got shareholders expecting healthy returns on their investments, employees looking for fair wages and job security, customers seeking quality products and services at competitive prices, and then there are societal and environmental concerns thrown into the mix. Balancing all these competing interests isn't a walk in the park. It requires a fundamental shift in the way businesses operate and make decisions. Plus, it can be a tough pill to swallow for traditionalists who are laser-focused on maximizing shareholder value above all else. Then there's the issue of accountability and measurement. How do you even begin to assess and compare the impact of your decisions on such a diverse set of stakeholders? It's not like there's a one-size-fits-all metric for success in stakeholder capitalism. And let's not forget the potential pushback from investors and executives who fear that prioritizing stakeholders may come at the expense of financial performance and profitability. But hey, challenges are meant to be tackled, right? So in the next segment, we'll dive into some strategies for overcoming these hurdles and making stakeholder capitalism a reality. Stick around. All right, so let's take a look at the future of business and what it might hold in store for all of us. With the shift towards stakeholder capitalism, we're seeing a greater emphasis on sustainable and responsible business practices. This means that companies will need to consider the impact of their decisions not only on their shareholders, but also on a wider range of stakeholders, including employees, customers, suppliers, and the communities in which they operate. As the business landscape continues to evolve, we can expect to see more focus on environmental, social, and governance (ESG) criteria in evaluating company performance. This means that businesses will need to prioritize not only profits, but also their contribution to society and the environment. In addition, the digital transformation will continue to play a significant role in shaping the future of business. Advancements in technology will drive innovation and change the way we work and interact with businesses. From artificial intelligence and automation to data analytics and the Internet of Things, companies will need to adapt and embrace these technologies to stay competitive. Moreover, the growing importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) in the workplace will lead to more inclusive and equitable business practices. Companies will need to address issues such as gender and racial equality, as well as create an environment where all employees feel valued and empowered. In summary, the future of business will be shaped by a combination of stakeholder capitalism, ESG considerations, technological advancements, and a greater emphasis on diversity and inclusion. It's an exciting time for business as we move towards a more responsible, sustainable, and inclusive future. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Stakeholder Capitalism, Beyond Shareholder Value. We've covered a lot of ground discussing how businesses can look beyond the traditional focus on shareholder value and consider the impact of their decisions on all stakeholders. It's clear that this approach can lead to more sustainable and inclusive business practices, benefiting not only shareholders, but also employees, customers, and the wider community. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback on this topic, so feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you more thought-provoking discussions in our future episodes. Until next time, take care and keep exploring new ideas.